Thanks for tuning in to the Drive On podcast, where we are focused on giving hope and strength to the entire military community. Whether you're a veteran, active duty, guard, reserve, or a family member, this podcast will share inspirational stories and resources that are useful to you. I'm your host, Scott DeLucio, and now let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Drive On. I'm your host, Scott DeLucio, and today my guests are Stephen Garrington and Jim Carson. Both are veterans dedicated to the noble cause of honor flights. These gentlemen are instrumental in facilitating a experience for veterans of the Vietnam, Korea, and World War II generations. And as part of the national nonprofit organization Honor Flight Network, their work involves bringing veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit memorials, which is a gesture that resonates with appreciation and honor for their service. So we're going to get into honor flights and talk about what they are all about and how their work are helping to honor those generations of veterans. But before we do that, I want to welcome you gentlemen to the show. So welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So before we get started, could you both just briefly, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you guys do with honor flights and your involvement with it. Maybe Steve, we can start with you.
All right. Well, I'm the hub director, one of the 120 hub directors across the United States for the Quad Cities. That's a little 4 cities on the Mississippi River. So we take veterans from Iowa and Illinois to Washington, D.C.
Awesome. And Jim, you mind introducing yourself? Just tell us a little bit about what you do with the honor flights as well.
Sure. I'm a member of a team of people who live in the Washington, D.C. area who greet and organize the greetings for both the arrivals and the departures of the honor flights that come into Washington Dulles Airport. And so
Yeah.
we run several dozen flights a year in and out of the Washington Dulles.
That's such an awesome thing. And for the listeners who might not be familiar with honor flights, you probably are familiar. Maybe you aren't familiar with the name, but you've probably seen the videos on social media with a plane full of veterans heading to Washington, D.C. And they take these veterans, bring them to Washington. They take them to all the memorials, over there in Washington, and it's really a great experience for them to see those memorials. Sometimes they might not have ever gotten a chance to go and visit some of these memorials, and honor flights makes that possible. So you're probably somewhat familiar with what they do if you've ever seen any of those videos on social media. But before we dive more into that, I want to kind of take a step back and talk about the kind of concept of bringing these veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials. Where did this concept come from, and how did this all get started? Steve, you and I, before we started recording, we were talking just a little bit about it. Could you kind of fill us in a little bit on not only the start of the organization as a whole, but also how these hubs get started as well?
Well, in 2004, they dedicated the World War II Memorial. But by that time, most of the World War II veterans were getting rather old. I mean, that was 60 years after the war had ended. So a pharmacist in Ohio was talking about how he was planning to go to D.C. to do some work with his friend, next door neighbor, and his next door neighbor was a Marine Corps veteran, and he said, "Gee, I'd love to go there to see the World War II Memorial, but I'm getting too old to go over there." And he says, "Well, you can come with me. You can fly with my plane." The next day, the veteran came over and said, "How many seats you got in that plane?" And the guy said, "Well, I got 4." He says, "Well, I got 13 guys lined up who want to go." And so this pharmacist got all his friends at the flying club in their planes and flew these guys to DC. That was the very first honor flight, and after that, he said, this has got to be done for veterans all over the United States." So he sold his business and became the full time director of honor flight for many years, and it's kind of a general way. Basically therefore it was for World War II veterans who were older and needed help to get to DC to see the memorial.
Awesome, awesome, and we're also talking about getting a hub set up, and you mentioned there's 120 hubs around the country. Some probably more concentrated than others as far as uh, where these hubs are and the population and things like that. I'm sure some are a lot more spread out than others. If you look at them on a map versus the population, and so there might be some areas that are underserved as far as the hubs are concerned. What was involved in getting a hub started in your area?
Well, we knew that we wanted to have an honor flight. We'd looked into it. So some veterans had asked about it, and the closest to us was Chicago, and they had a long waiting list. And so Chicago said, "I'll tell you what, we can't handle your people, but we can tell you how to get started." And after that, Cedar Rapids called us and said, "How did you guys get started?" And we helped them, and we helped Dubuque, and we helped. So each basically, and if a group of volunteers get together and they say, "We want to start an honor flight hub," and they go to the nearest one nearby and say, "Hey, how'd you do this, and what do you do?" Every hub does it a little differently. We're all allowed to do it whichever way works best for us, but we all get help from each other.
And Jim, so you're involved on the other side. So with the hubs that we were just talking about, that's kind of getting the veterans together, getting them to their kind of more local airport to send them off, um, to on their trip to DC. But you're on the receiving end in the DC area. Um, Tell us about what you see on your end as far as these veterans coming in. Um, sometimes you said there could be a dozen trips coming in. Um, sometimes you get all these veterans, and I got to imagine it's a pretty moving, pretty emotional experience for these folks, right?
It's an incredible experience, and it nobody really understands or gets who comes or gets involved initially, as I did, and just how much work there is behind the scenes, both at the hub level and at the airport levels. We have three airports here in Washington that all host honor flights: Baltimore, Washington, Reagan National, and Dulles. And it's truly a team effort at the airport, because you've got vast numbers of volunteers who come in to greet the planes. We've had as many as 300 or 400 people at Washington Dulles to greet a flight coming in. But TSA is involved, the airport police are involved, the airport logistics people are involved, the organizations that provide the food and the transportation. So it's an incredibly complicated sort of logistics effort at this
Mhm.
end as well as at the hub end. The experience for both the volunteers that come to greet the planes at the flights and the veterans is an incredibly emotional experience. Most of the veterans don't realize what they're going to see when they arrive at the airport. And what they see is a crowd of several hundred people, often a band, often an honor guard, often the local police providing a motorcycle escort into town. Um, I've seen veterans just sobbing after they've come run the gauntlet, as we call it, of the people greeting them. For many of them, especially Vietnam veterans, it's the first time anybody has said thank you for your service or welcome home to them.
Right.
And it's an incredibly emotional experience.
And Jim, I want to add to
Yeah.
that. One of the most wonderful things, many of the airports get school children to come out, and our
Yes.
guys are absolutely thrilled to have these young people come out. You guys do a wonderful, wonderful job of having people there, some military, some civilians, and the children. And when you see one of our veterans in a wheelchair with two kids on their lap rolling down the aisle, I said they're having a good time. Uh, we really appreciate what they do at the airport that we use, which is Dulles, and they just do a wonderful, fantastic job. And we just our guys, as you said, it is an emotional point. It is the start, and we don't tell them it's coming. By the way, we let it what.
Yeah. I
Well,
think
yeah, you want that.
the first sign they get that something special is going on is when they get the fire trucks arcing the
Water.
fire hose water over the
Mhm.
airplane as they pull
Yeah.
up to the terminal. On the kids, I tell everybody, the other adult volunteers, I said, we're just extraneous. They've seen a lot of old people, but to have young kids come up waving American flags and saying thank you for your service to these veterans, as you said, it's just an amazing experience.
So I'm not from one of the generations that is being served currently by honor flights, although I'm sure in the future that'll probably change. But you know, when I came back from Afghanistan, um, the airport in Atlanta, there were so many supporters there, and this was completely unexpected when I first came through that airport. People with American flags and signs, and it was like you said, kind of like a gauntlet that you're going through of all these supporters. And as I was walking through that, I was thinking to myself, man, how far have we come since the Vietnam era when guys were coming home from overseas and they were getting spit at, they were getting called names, and all these terrible things that people would do to them. And here I am being fortunate enough to walk through this crowd of people who are clapping and waving American flags and thanking me and all this stuff. And uh, I gotta imagine, for especially for those Vietnam era folks who are going um, through those crowds, it's got to be a pretty emotional experience for them.
I think it is. I remember when I came back from Vietnam in 1972 and flew into Oakland, processed through Oakland Army Base. I was an Army captain, and the sergeant who was processing me said, "Sir, are you going to go downtown tonight?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't wear your uniform."
Right. And
And
that's pretty sad that an American soldier can't wear an American Army uniform going through
yeah,
an American city.
and I think
Really, the
I've
whole
been to
day
the
is a day of
uh,
thank you. I mean, we they start
yeah,
off
oh yeah.
at the airport there when they arrive. Uh, then on the way home, we do letters. We've contacted families and said, "Would you send letters?" And then they have mail call on the airplane, and the guys get to open letters from family members and friends and from strangers that just say, "Thank you so much for what you have done." Very very emotional time on the airplane. And then when we get home, we do another walk through. Another crowd is there. In our area, we have between 500 and 1,000 people show up every flight to say again,
Wow.
say thank you for your service and welcome home. It's an emotional day all the way through. These guys, and they're all, and the guardians that go along are pooped. I can tell you that right now. But the veterans, they're ready to go. I'm telling
That's awesome. Yeah. And so uh, when you get this group of veterans, a lot of them probably don't really know each other. I mean, I'm sure there's some who do, but is there that camaraderie, that bond that kind of comes together, like as they get on that plane, they start talking to each other and realize, hey, these guys are like me. I'm with my people now. Is that kind of like what the experience is like when you get on those planes?
always when veterans get together, I think that's part of it. But it's also with the guardians that we send along with them. These are people who've
Mhm.
never heard the stories before, and your family member may have heard it, but the guardian hasn't. And you can tell them, "Gee, let me tell you what I did," and you can kind of stretch the truth. If you can lie, is what you can do if you want to. That we've had,
Sure.
uh, let me tell you how I helped Creighton Abrams. I might want to tell you how I, but but they have a wonder. And then we tell our guardians, now make sure if you hear a story, you remind them to tell your family when you get back home, because many stories, this is the first time they've come out, and now we say, guardians, part of your job is to tell them, make sure your family knows about this. Write it down, tell them, let it keep going.
I
Yeah.
did. I did an honor flight as a member of the flight. Here in Northern Virginia, we have one. We obviously don't have to use an airplane, but we do every other part. And I had a guardian who I'd never met before. He was a local volunteer from a local company, and by the end of the day, we felt like close friends. Um, and I knew very few of the people on the bus, or a few from the place where I live, my wife and I live. But by the end of the day, the group dynamic was just incredible. It was an experience I've never had before.
Yeah. That's kind of what I suspected. Talking to veterans on this show, sometimes the very first time that I speak to them is when just moments before hitting record on the show, and then a lot of times by the end of the episode, feel like I've known the person on the other end for the longest time. And it's just that connection that veterans have, and I I think that's. Um, it's such a strong thing, but it's something that we don't tap into enough, because a lot of times I hear from other veterans, one of the things that they miss most is that camaraderie with other veterans. After getting out, it's like I'm thrown out into the world, and I'm in this big sea of civilians that nobody knows me. No one can relate to the experiences that I've been through, or any of that. But then they get together with another veteran, and it's like I'm home. I found my people, right? And that, I think, is something that it's such a powerful thing. I think veterans who feel isolated, feel alone, feel like they don't have that community or whatever, find other veterans. That's something I think would be a great thing. And I got to imagine after some of these flights, some of the guys who were and some of the ladies who were on these flights, um, they probably keep in touch afterwards. I would imagine in some
Oh, yeah,
cases, right?
we've had
Yeah.
Yeah.
veterans being invited to the Guardian's home for dinner. We've had veterans that get together, and of course, then they all say, "Well, have you joined my American Legion post?" So they get there, and so they meet together. They meet with their guardians. They meet with other veterans, and they make some lifelong friendships. It comes, and it's some of them come as groups. We've had groups of 5 or 6 that are buddies that go at one time. We one time had 4 brothers who go on, who are all veterans who went on the same flight. That was kind of exciting as well. And of course, we do have
Oh,
women.
that is cool. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and having those groups of folks who already know each other, I think that's great too, because that's just that one more experience that you get to share together. And going to DC and seeing these memorials, I've been there. We were talking before we started recording, and it's it really is pretty incredible to see. Going to the Vietnam War Memorial and seeing all of those names on the wall, like it starts to paint the picture of just how meaningful this small area that was carved out for the purpose of this memorial. It's more than just stone that's placed in the ground. It's a place for people to come to heal, to remember, to feel like they've been recognized, and um, it's powerful, I think, in bringing these veterans out to see these things. Just kind of hopefully makes them realize, like, as a country, we are grateful for the things that they have done, on our behalf, really, right?
Oh, I think so. The other thing that struck me is, the veterans all wear a distinctive shirt, T-shirt or a sweatshirt, and that those shirts are like magnets when you get down to the memorials. Uh, people who are there because they're tourists or whatever, just are drawn to the veterans. And I can't tell you how many people just came up to me at every memorial and asked where I had served and what I had done, and thanked me. And it's an overwhelming experience.
Yeah, yeah.
We tell
I
them
can
that
I can imagine. Yeah.
yeah, we tell
Go
them
ahead.
that children like veterans in wheelchairs, uh, and
They sure do.
they first of all, the veteran is now at their level, so they can come over and talk. But kids love to come up to veterans in wheelchairs, and some of our guys may be a little hesitant about using a wheelchair. I can use a cane, I can use a walker. No, we put you in a wheelchair, and the kids come up to the guys in wheelchairs. That's kind of very special,
Yeah.
Well, I gotta imagine the being in the wheelchair, you're kinda more down on their level,
right?
eye to eye, right? And so you can talk to them, and, um, they don't feel like they're holding you up. If you're leaning on a cane, kinda almost seems like, "Hey, I wanna keep moving here because I got that momentum going," right? But if you're sitting in a wheelchair, they're not holding you up. You're comfortable there where you are, and, they can see you eye to eye, and it makes the conversation probably a whole lot better, and,
So our
maybe
hub,
they're hoping for a little ride on the lap too, right?
yeah, our hubs do not allow any cranes, any walkers. If you have any trouble with walking, putting you in a wheelchair, by golly. And we've had organizations donate wheelchairs, so we now have plenty of wheelchairs, so we can. It's a great way to go. And I thought when we got to Vietnam, we would have less wheelchairs than we did at World War II, but that's not quite true. We
Not
have a
the
lot
case.
of wheelchairs from guys from Vietnam, so it's kind of amazing.
Really? Wow, that is interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if,
We're getting
it's
older, for
more.
one thing.
Well, sure, sure, but
Maybe
so are
not,
they,
but I
right?
am. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
Well,
so
and then a lot of the guys who were on the ground in Vietnam were exposed to Agent Orange, and so
that's
there's a
true.
lot of health issues with Vietnam veterans,
Oh yeah.
more
That
than
is
I
true.
think people realize.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so for folks around the country who want to, participate in honor flights, how can they get involved to get veterans from their part of the country out to Washington? I mean, obviously, if there's a hub nearby, um, you know, probably get in touch with that hub. But how do they find these hubs, or if there isn't a hub, what's that process like to, get them, uh, get those veterans out to Washington?
We normally just Google honor flight and then you're near me or honor flight and most closest city or airport that you have, and it'll come up. If you said honor flight Quad Cities, you'd get our Facebook page. They all have them, and on each Facebook page or of almost every hub will be the application for the veterans and the guardians, and so you can download those and certainly. Become a veteran or or guardian on one of our flights. Then you mail it on in, and we're getting you ready to go. So it's pretty easy to get involved, and of course, it's all about the veteran. That's our motto. It's all about the veteran. So if you're a little distance away, that's not a problem. If you can get to the airport on that day, we'll get you to the to DC. We had one person from
Awesome.
California, and his son lived in the Quad Cities, and they said, "What about Grandpa? Can he come over?" And sure. So Grandpa flew in, was there for a couple of weeks with his grandson, went on the honor flight, went home, and flew back to California. Very happy guy. We're all about the veteran. We're not worried about
So
where you are from or what you did or anything like that.
sure. So I guess the real main point here is if you can get to the airport, then you're good to go, and the rest of it is pretty much taken care of, right? I mean, all the flights and the transportation, all that kind of stuff, from on the DC end, is all taken care of, right?
Absolutely free for the veteran. Veterans pay
Yeah,
nothing. We tell them to take no money. We so what about tips? We handle the tips. We handle everything. You don't need to take any money. And what
that's
about
great.
a beer now and
That's
again?
great.
I do not want you smashed on the airplane going back. Okay, no money.
One of my jobs in one of the terminals at Dulles is to stand guard by the bar and make sure that none of the veterans or their guardians come in and order a beer.
Absolutely.
I can imagine because once you are a service member, I don't care if you're, Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, any of the branches. I don't care. Uh, Once you've been there, I think you've earned your drinking license, and you can pound back a few, right?
That's right.
Especially after an emotional day like this, you really
Yeah,
and you need to process
that's right.
and we go up and down the airport or airplane while we're flying back. What was great? What did you like? One of the guys, Vietnam vet, said, "I like the Korean War Memorial the best." And I said, "Well, you're a Vietnam vet. Why the Korean Memorial?" And he said, "Well, it, the Vietnam Memorial is great." He says, "I love it. But it's kind of like a tombstone. And the Korean Memorial, they're all alive. There's these statues of guys who are living,
And,
walking."
yeah.
And he
Yeah,
says, "So it's a living memorial." And I said, "Well, I like that. I had never considered that before." So
right,
it's an emotional, a thoughtful day for all these guys and for the guardians as well. Our guardians pay a certain amount. Every hub sets a different amount. Our guardians pay $400 for the privilege of going with the veteran, and they come back. They are saying, "I'll do. Can I do it again?" Yeah, another $400. Here's my check. They are.
sure.
It is a grand day for them all, and they an emotional day, but a great day.
And on the DC end, so Jim, for any folks in that area who want to greet the veterans at the airport, or want to volunteer and participate in any of the logistics, or any of that type of stuff that might be going on, is there a need out there? Do you already have a network of folks that are in place, or how can people get involved with that?
Oh, the more the merrier. Believe you me, especially as some of us age up. But all they have to do is Google Honor Flight Dulles. We have a Facebook page. We have a website page. As soon as the flight schedules come up, we post them on the website. People can sign up. Uh, the nice thing is we get free parking at Dulles Airport. Compliments of the airport leadership, and there's a multitude of roles. Just to come out and greet the veterans, that's great. If people want to get more involved, they all they have to do is look for one of us volunteers wearing a neon yellow honorship shirt, and we'll tell them how to get more involved. It's a great experience.
Yeah,
The help at the airport is just fantastic. There are a lot of people there giving you hugs, and I get one from Colleen, who's one of the people out at Dulles every time I go there. Jim, I don't want a hug from you, but that's all right.
I've been known to give hugs.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great because there's an opportunity for anybody, at any level, whatever it is
Oh
that they
yes.
are
It is.
interested in participating in, even if, uh, and I'm saying this kind of casually here, but even if it's just standing there with an American flag, welcoming the folks in there, it's not a huge effort on the part of the folks who are standing there waving the flags, clapping, greeting them however they choose to. But on the other end, the folks who are coming in and seeing all of the pomp and circumstance and all the stuff that's going on there, it makes them feel like they're welcome, that they are their service was appreciated, and all that type of stuff. So, um, I think while it may be a little thing for the folks uh, to do as far as standing there for a little bit of time and waving and clapping and all that kind of stuff, it has a huge impact on the folks that are coming through, especially when you're seeing huge crowds of people who are waving these flags and greeting people, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think those who come out really understand the impact that they're having, and we try to let them know that they do. When they see a veteran in tears being hugged by a kid, then they understand the impact that the crowd
That's right.
is having.
I think
And
I think the impact could be a story we had one a flight that was rained all day, just poured rain all day. And when they got back, the veteran got in the car with his daughter to go home, and she said, "Well, Dad, how was the trip?" And he said, "How was it?" He says, "Look at me. I'm soaked. My feet are wet. I'm cold. I'm shivering. How was it? It was the best damn day of my life." That's how it was.
Yeah, it's like the old saying that we had in the army: if it ain't raining, we ain't training.
Yeah.
And so you kind of embrace that suck, if you will. You embrace it, and yeah, it was raining. Yeah, it was cold. It was wet and everything, but still, it was
Yes,
it was amazing, right? And
it was
and
amazing.
um, that's a great attitude to have. I think when you have folks who uh, go through that type of experience, sometimes a quite emotional experience, but still can um, have a smile on their face at the end of the day, and appreciate the goodness that comes from it. I think that speaks volumes about the type of work that you guys do, and all the other folks who are involved. But on your guys' end, it's a lot of work to uh, facilitate getting the folks to the airport, and getting the flights organized, getting them out of the airport and getting them to the memorials, and going around and seeing everything that they need to see, and then uh, keeping tabs on all those people and getting them back, because I know I always remember getting on any kind of military vehicle or transport or anything like that, and we'd always have to count off, how many people are on the bus or on the plane or whatever, and you count off, and inevitably someone screws up the count somewhere along the way. It's like 1, 2, 3, 3, and then it's like, no, we got to start over again, and we got to go all the way through. So doing what you guys are doing, I got to imagine it's not an easy job, but rewarding, for sure. I have to imagine, and so um, I definitely encourage people who are listening to this, who know somebody, if it's not you yourself, know somebody who is from the Vietnam, the Korea, World War II generations, to get in touch with the honor flights, and check out what they have to offer, and see if you can't get that veteran out to Washington to uh, check out the memorials, and have their service be honored. Or if you're the veteran yourself, definitely check it out as well. And the website for honor flights, it's honorflight.org, I believe. Is that correct?
That'll get you the national website. Uh, Ours
Okay.
is Honor Flight QC, but
Okay.
each hub has its own website. And
Okay.
we really encourage people to download a application for the veteran, and then take it to the veteran and say, "Here, I'm going to help you fill this out, and I'll send it in for you." Because a lot of the
Sure.
veterans are hesitant to fill out an application. Well, I didn't do much. I was a clerk typist back in Fort Ord, California. You know what? When you signed a blank check as a veteran,
That's right.
I was
That's
promised
right.
a lot of things which I never got. Okay, I want to tell you that right now. So you may, just because you didn't go to Vietnam or didn't go to Korea or, doesn't mean that you couldn't have, because you never know. The government has a fine print down there that says we can send you anywhere we want. So we say, just because you didn't go doesn't mean you aren't a veteran of that era. We want you to go. We appreciate your service. You were ready. You were willing. So fill out an application. So
That's
then
right.
some are
Yeah,
still
and a lot
hesitant.
of times, yeah, a lot of times veterans get that mindset like, "Oh, I didn't do as much as the other guy,
Right.
so, you know, my service wasn't as worthy or as significant as that other person." I mean, that to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, otherwise, like, we can't all be, you know, charging the hill and going and busting down doors. Like those people who are busting down the doors and charging the hills, they need the people to support them. They need the artillery that's maybe a mile or two away or something. They need the logistics. They need the cooks, and they need the mechanics, and they need all these other um, support folks to enable them to be able to do their job. And some of those people are back home, and you need those people to load the planes and to do other things to send that support. Um, and even honestly, if nothing else, they're here as a deterrent, to help protect the country. While yes, other people are off fighting a war, you're staying here stateside as a deterrent to deter other people from coming and invading into the United States. So you say you did nothing. That sounds like a pretty significant nothing, if you ask me, right?
Uh,
No, I've never seen anybody involved in honor flight or talking to a vet, uh, gauging their reaction to the person based on what they did. The fact of the matter is, and what we are honoring is their service to the country.
Absolutely.
Right.
And as you said, Scott, there are many, many ways to serve this country, and that ought to be recognized. Every incident, every person who served this country needs that recognition and
That's right.
deserves it.
They all went through
You're right.
basic.
Yeah.
They all had a sergeant they hated. They all had a stupid second lieutenant. I mean, there are some things that they all had. I mean, yeah, they all had rotten food, one place or another. I mean, it was, and they've all got a story to tell you about it too. I tell you.
Sure. Sure. And you just hit the nail on the head on every single one of those things. I've had them. So
So did I.
Ah, yeah, me too.
so well, guys, it's been really a pleasure speaking with you today. I'm uh encouraging folks to go and check out the honor flight website, or Google for the local hubs in your area. Get that application, like they were saying. Give it to the veteran and help them fill it out and send it in for them, and let them know that their service is uh, is being honored here. No matter how big or little their service was, it's important. It's significant. They did what their country asked them to do, and they may not feel that way, but everybody else, we feel that way. We feel like that service should be honored just as much as uh, the guys who were quote unquote doing more than those other folks. So definitely encourage them. And if you need some help encouraging them, have them listen to this episode and hear
Yeah,
three veterans here saying, get your butt on
do
that
it.
plane and do it, right?
Physical disability is not a
So
problem. We've taken people with all sorts of disabilities along with us. Now, we have our own oxygen concentrators. We can handle any kind of physical disability. So don't that's not a problem.
yeah. So and don't use it as an excuse.
That's
Like
not an
that. That's
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
that's a bunch of crap. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, oh, it's fine. I can't walk. Well, they got wheelchairs. Oh, well, I don't want anyone to push me around. Well, they
The
got people
effective
who are
range
ready,
of a
willing, and able to do that, right?
yeah, the effective range of an excuse is 0 meters. So I can't renter it right now.
Right, and that's not gonna get you to Washington, so, let's
Yeah.
let's just, leave that behind, and, let's get you on that plane and get you out there. So, before we wrap up this episode, I like to do this segment, just to have a little bit of fun at the end, just a little bit of humor, to get people laughing. It's called "Is It Service Connected?" And, it's basically just watching a short video, kinda like America's Funniest Home Videos, but military edition, so service members doing something kind of stupid, kind of funny, bouncing around, falling, all that kind of stuff, and getting mildly injured sometimes. And we kind of laugh at it, and then we can kind of joke about whether or not it would be service connected. 9 times out of 10, it's probably not, but
Mhm.
it's fun to take a look at and kind of have a little laugh at other people's expenses in this kind of thing. So I'm just going to pull up this video real quick for you folks to uh, take a look at. Um, Give me just a second here. So sharing this screen. Um, all right. So, for the audio listeners, check out the show on YouTube or Twitter, where I post the full version of this episode. You'll be able to see this video on there. But if you can't see it for some reason, I'll try to describe it. Right now, it looks like we got a few soldiers in the back of a Chinook as it's
Mhm.
flying. Got the door open in the back. Two guys sitting on the ramp. One of them's holding on. They're both strapped in. It looks like. But let's take a quick look and see uh, what's about to happen. I think these guys are about to have a bad day. Oh,
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 jeez.
geez.
they they took a bad turn or something. I'm not sure what they did with that, but they both guys ended up hitting the ceiling in the helicopter, and thank God they were strapped in, so they didn't end up going flying out the backside. But they probably got their clocks wrong. I would imagine there could be some head injuries there, but it's yeah, unfortunately, um, one of those things comes with the territory when you're flying in unpredictable conditions. You might end up bouncing around a bit, right?
Well,
That's
after that,
why I tried to stay out of helicopters in
me too.
Vietnam.
After that was over, both of them went to the pilot and whacked him on the head. I can tell you that right now.
I can imagine they would. Yeah, that did not look fun.
No.
It well, that's if they were seeing straight. They might have been seeing two pilots at
Yeah,
that
well,
point,
there
and
you go.
they just whapping at one. But Um, anyways, guys, thank you for taking the time to join me, sharing what it is that you do with Honor Flights and the experiences that you provide for the veterans who have sacrificed so much and now can see that we as a country honor their service. So thank you again for everything that you guys do.
Welcome home.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Drive On podcast. If you want to support the show, please check out Scott's book, Surviving Son, on Amazon. All of the sales from that book go directly back into this podcast and work to help veterans in need. You can also follow the Drive On podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.